What's up? Back again. Straight to the point. Sports and entertainment. Hit the like. Sub to the channel. Also hit them notifications. All right, man. Um, this is part two. Earlier I had talked about it, and I had discussed the fact that D Rose was retiring, and I want to get into some more talking about D Rose and his career. I feel that he's much deserved more appreciation for the, I should say, not really short-lived career, but short short span of his his peak, if you will, in terms of his health, because his body couldn't really hold up no more. So, um, he just became, he went from being a superstar to just another. I ain't gonna say another player in the league, but he went from a superstar to just being a really good player. You know what I'm saying? Um, he's gonna go down as one of the sad stories in the NBA. Um, when I think about him, I think about Bill Walton. Even though Bill Walton he was blessed to win a championship, but he also won MVP too. Uh, I think about to a lesser degree. I think about Tracy McGrady, because I feel like if Tracy McGrady's health would have been a lot better, he probably would have he probably would have went further in the playoffs. I mean, that's just my opinion. Um, it's a lot of guys. Greg Oden, Brandon Roy. I think about guys like that were robbed um, due to injury. Um, like I said earlier, Derrick Rose really set the tone, along with Russell Westbrook, as and ushering in the athletic point guard, because even though that Derrick Rose was naturally a point guard, he could still play the two as well. You know what I'm saying? He was small enough, because he's 6'3". He was small enough to be a point guard, but he was also tall enough to be an undersized two. And you really can't even say undersized, because Iverson was shorter than him when he eventually took over the duties of from playing point guard to being that natural shooting guard or whatever. Which, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated that decision that AI made. I loved him at the point guard position. A lot of people got to understand that when AI had came in, when AI had came in, man, this dude's about to run into the back of me, man. You got to watch out for these. Um, when AI had came in, he was a point guard, not coming in from Georgetown, coming in from high school. Russell Westbrook was never a point guard. Russell Westbrook was playing the small forward position and the two, but he was just really extremely athletic and quick. And when they when he got up under Scotty Brooks or whatever in OKC, they decided to throw him in there at the point guard position. Um, and he was successful from an individual standpoint. They had some team success too. We're not gonna act like these guys didn't go nowhere. They did go to the finals. You got to give them that. But unfortunately, you know, him and Durant were never quite able to get over the hump. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about D Rose, and we're talking about what his impact was truly. Now, D Rose he brought excitement to the game. And there was a time period where there was kind of a shift there. What's up, the real? I see you in here, man. There was a time period when D Rose was taking that excitement level from LeBron James. Let's just call it what it is. When you watched D Rose's games. I'm talking about when he was in his prime, before the injury started to take a toll on him. He was must see TV. I mean, that dunk that he did on Gordon Dragic will remain one of the nastiest, most ferocious open court dunk. Was one of them ones. For real, that boy was something. Man, he was something vicious. And you know the real. You know what the real. I wish that Derrick Rose would have took care of his body, and a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. Derrick Rose, because I follow Derrick Rose. I mean, Derrick Rose is around my height. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's probably an inch taller than me. If you're around between 6'1" and 6'4", D Rose is somebody, and you're playing a guard position, point guard position. That's who you want to study, and you have that type of athleticism. I would advise that you go back and watch Derrick Rose, okay? Because he knew how to get to the cup. Wasn't that great of a shooter, but he'll knock them down, occasionally and stuff like that. But what people got to understand, man, is when you're a point guard, you're not supposed to be the greatest shooter. Like, I don't think people understand it. You're not supposed to be like the greatest shooter. Yes, you have your Stockton. Yes, you have your Mark Prices. Yes, you have your Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. You know what I'm saying? You even got your Terry Porters and stuff. But you did have your Isaiah Thomas. He wasn't, he could knock down the mid-range and stuff like that. But Isaiah Thomas wasn't a lights-out three-point shooter. That sort of thing. Magic Johnson, he was a good free throw shooter and everything, and he got better as his career evolved at the three-point position or whatever. What's up with it, Alex? I see you in here, man. But for the most part, Derrick Rose was a guy that you really wanted to pay attention to because of his impact, man. But that dunk that he did, out in the open floor, that wasn't anything new because he had been doing that stuff in high school. Like I said in the previous video, Derrick Rose would be out in the open court, and you better hope that you could truly block his shot or you could jump with him. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, man, he's fitting to bang on you. But Derrick Rose, man, he did bring excitement to the game, and there was a point in time when people thought that Derrick Rose was way more exciting than LeBron. Because, at that point, really LeBron was starting to take on the villain role. And I'm not going to lie to you, I actually liked when LeBron was the villain. The reverse, he did it, yeah. Like, man, he was doing some funky stuff, man. Like, he was doing some really funky, man, just like it was nothing for him to get up, man. And that's why, a lot of people compare Ja Morant to either D Rose, somebody like D Rose, or somebody like AI or whatever. I say more D Rose because he's so damn explosive. You got to think about it, man. When you think of explosive guards, because who I compared D Rose to was a better in shape version of Baron Davis. You know what I'm saying? You said bye D Rose about time, but he was vicious though, and you can't lie. If you come up in here, Cyphers, and you say some stuff like D Rose was trash or all this other stuff, just go ahead and delete your account, man. You know, shut your page down, because I haven't met one guy that said that D Rose was trash or put him in a sentence of trash. But, you know, about time, I got to give him credit for fighting. I mean, you got to think about it. There were guys that were really trying to make a comeback. Let's go down the list. Let's start with, of course, Penny Hardaway. He was trying to come back from that injury that he had sustained. He had several injuries, but you know, the main thing I think was his knee, if I'm not mistaken. Then on top of that, you had Grant Hill. Grant Hill was able to finish his career and become a Hall of Famer by reinventing himself. Brandon Roy, he tried to give it all that he could. I mean, Lord have mercy. Greg Oden, stayed hurt. I like D Rose as a player, but let's be honest, been overdue for him to go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, man, dog, he actually was productive. He just was not. Listen, after an injury, like constantly to your knee. Now, look, this is what I'm saying, because I want you to put it in perspective. And don't run. Don't run. We know you're going to get up out of here. Don't run. Get this smoke, okay? Do not run. Okay? Don't run up out of here. Don't run. Now, this is what I'm going to say to you. Look at Kawhi Leonard and what he's going through right now. Kawhi Leonard was barely, he's barely playing, like, I think he played like 68 games, stuff like that. And he's still out there. And when he's on, he's on. Derrick Rose was doing the same thing. It's just that Derrick Rose was not the same type of flair that you saw. So you're not gonna look at Derrick Rose the same as you did when he was in Minnesota. You're not gonna look at the same when he was in New York. You're not gonna look at him the same when he was in Cleveland. You wanna see that 2008, 2009 D Rose. You want to see that 2010 MVP D Rose, man, dunking on Gordon Dragic. That's what you see. That's what you want to see. But unfortunately, you can't look at him like that. So your expectations are going to be extremely high. They're going to be like super sky high, when you already know what type of injuries that he done been through. Now, I agree with you on that. That motherfucker should have retired like 5 years ago. You talking about Kawhi? The only reason I give Kawhi just a little bit is the fact that when Kawhi is healthy, he destroys motherfuckers. I don't think people understand that and realize that. And as a Spurs fan, Cypress, you should really know that. When a healthy Kawhi, and I know Turod was saying this yesterday, I think it was. He said Kawhi was like a top 2, top 3 player in the league. At one point, I had Kawhi as the number 1 guy. There was a point in the NBA because of the style that he played, because of what he exerted on the defensive end, I had Kawhi as the number 1 player in the league. Yeah, he didn't get the MVP, but guess what? He got the Finals MVP, and on top of that, he delivered the Raptors the first championship, the couple along with going, okay, people had injury, and then on top of that, he had a good supporting cast. But nevertheless, he still came over there, and they still got him a championship, something that they can't take away from him. I did too. He was going crazy against LeBron. Listen. One thing that you got to understand, man, is like the greats. In order for you to be amongst that conversation with the elites, you have to have, your defense has to be talked about. That's why it's hard for me. Oh man, why you ain't got LeBron up there and all this other stuff? Because he wasn't the defender that MJ was. He wasn't the defender that that Kobe was. You know what I'm saying? Not the only reason or whatever, man. I mean, really, you still got to get to the rings and all that other jazz. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's neither here nor there. But D Rose, man, was extremely explosive. He was exciting to watch. He made his teammates better. His teammates loved playing with him. You never heard anything bad. The only thing bad you heard about D Rose, Cypress, and the real. This is the only thing you heard about D Rose. You heard that he ate too much fast food. He loved his McDonald's. He loved his candy. You know what I'm saying? He loved his Whoppers, his Skittles, his Juju Bee. You know what I'm saying? He got them, everything. You know what I'm saying? His Twizzlers, all that. He liked all that movie candy, you know what I'm saying? He liked all that popcorn and, you know what I'm saying, the pork grind and all that other stuff. Man, he wasn't eating no fresh foods. He wasn't eating no, some good asparagus, with some good Brussels sprouts and, a nice salmon, a salmon, whatever you want to call it. Wasn't eating that shit. He like, man, motherfucker, man, just give me a goddamn Big Mac, large fry. You know what I'm saying? Make it hot, fresh fries. You know what I'm talking about? Man, go ahead and give me one of them Whataburgers, triple cheese, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? With a shake. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Hey, the real, he live in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all got Whataburger out there. Look, man, go ahead and give me a triple cheese, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Throw some jalapenos on that motherfucker, you know what I mean? Some grilled onions, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you toast that bun on the grill, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. That's what Derrick Rose like. He wasn't up in there eating healthy and shit. But, like I said, man, that impacts your career. The greats, they had to know, like when they came in or whatever, you can only eat bad for so long. And I'm stuck in traffic, y'all. This traffic is not moving. But yeah, man, Derrick Rose, man. Now the other question is that I had earlier. I had one other person that said no to this, but the question is will Kawhi Leonard be a Hall of Famer? Not Kawhi Leonard, will Derrick Rose be a Hall of Famer? And just because of how his career had ended, I would say no. If they put him in the Hall of Fame, would I have a problem with it? Not at all. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're gonna sit there and they're gonna give, like I said, I always go back to T Mac, man. If they're gonna give, T Mac a Hall of Fame or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We gotta look at D Rose too. Um, D Rose was all NBA. I'm just saying if they put him in there, I'm not saying, oh yeah, first ballot or none of that. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying any of that. You know. Ted, what's up with it, man? We back talking D Rose again, and then of course I'm gonna talk about Diddy taking the stand, and then on top of that, then we gonna talk about the Dolph trial. Number 4, day number 4. Um, I was talking about how when D Rose came in, he was starting to take that mantle of being more exciting than LeBron James. He was really starting to take that mantle, um, because like LeBron was the villain. I wore longevity in Hall of Fame choices, at least a decade of dominance. Well, he had 8 years. He had 8 years of well, I think it was 7 years. 7 years in which he was a damn near 20-point scorer. You know what I'm saying? The most that Derek averaged, he wasn't gonna. Derrick Rose, yeah, he would put up, like I said, he put up a 50 ball and all that other stuff or whatever. But Derrick Rose, um, he wasn't selfish like that. He wanted to get his teammates involved and stuff, and he was an elite playmaker and stuff. So at the most, D Rose was going to average like 25 points. When he came in, I think as a rookie, he only averaged like 16 points, but his impact and what he did and just his presence on the court alone showed that this guy had potential, or whatever. But if you go look, I think he had a good 7 to 8 seasons where he was, around that 18, 20 points a game. I mean, that's why he averaged about 17.4 points for his career. Yeah, he played D too. He was very, very quick in the passing lane, and once he got it, he knew what to do with it. He listen in transition. That see when you run the point guard, and that's what I was saying earlier, Ted. If you're playing like if you're his height, around 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", you could tell he played that Chicago style. Like if you go look at like Doc Rivers, how he played, because Doc Rivers is from Chicago too. If you look at them similar, because Doc Rivers could get up too. Doc Rivers could get up, man. Everybody want to talk about, Austin Rivers want to talk about he would have averaged, man. You wasn't even as good as your pops, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Austin Rivers, man, Terry Porter would have annihilated you. Derrick Rose in his prime, I wish you would. What that nigga Magic say? Hee. I wish you would. Too Raw for TV in the building. Make sure y'all go sub up to my nigga Too Raw for TV in the building. One of the HNICs of this LDBC thing. Lions Den basketball and boxing community. Salute to Too Raw, one of my inspirations forever jumping on YouTube. You can't get on YouTube without mentioning Too Raw for TV. I got him ranked as the top historian. I got him ranked up there, and I got the brother Kev Mack from Kev Mack videos ranked as the top historians on YouTube. Salute to Too Raw being in the building. Yeah, man. Hey, Ted. Like I said, man, and I want. I'm giving a request to Too Raw. I'm giving a request to Too Raw because I think Too Raw is the Bulls fan. I'm giving a request to Too Raw. Hey, Too Raw, man, you can't make that video about D Rose maybe, 8 minutes, 9 minutes. Nah, man, we gotta have about 30 minutes. We gotta have at least 30 minutes. I'm putting in my request. I'm putting in my request to Too Raw right now. Nah, man. Yeah, Derrick Rose was exciting, man. And let's just face it, a lot of the fans were scared. A lot of LeBron fans were scared that D Rose was about to take that mantle. You said Too Raw using cap emojis in his thumbnail. Yeah, man. But I like the Sean Marion. But you know what, though? I think Sean Marion did have a case, though. But the only thing is that, man, Ben Ben Wallace, man, was ferocious, but I understood why Sean Marion felt the way he felt. Sean Marion did a lot, man. Sean Marion covered so much ground. Like when I think of Sean Marion, I think of in like a football sense. I think of him like a Mike. You see how they use Micah Parsons everywhere. You see how they use JJ, like they used to use JJ Watt everywhere. That's what they used to use, like how they use Dennis Rodman everywhere. That's what they used to do for Sean Marion. Sean Marion could keep up with a guard, and he could keep up. He was athletic enough, quick enough. Believe it or not, Sean Marion was strong. He was strong enough to to keep up with the center too, the center position. You know what I'm saying? But he was extremely athletic, the Matrix. So he had a case, but Ben Wallace was that guy, man. Ben Wallace was blocking like 3-4 shots at a time, jumping right back up, nigga. Yeah. Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed, man. Yeah, man. That was we going way back, bro. I got Ed Reed as my that's my goat um my goat DB. But I mean, he had a case, but the fact, and then of course, what you call, was winning. He won championship. You know what I'm saying? And on top of that, he won multiple. He won it multiple times. Ben Wallace did. So, but yeah, man. D Rose definitely deserved his just due. He definitely deserved his just due. Um, when he came out of Memphis, like I said, a lot of people don't understand, man. When he was playing in Memphis, he kind of held back a little bit from how he was playing. Like if you look at the way that he played in Memphis, when he was playing for Memphis, and then you go look how he played, his first season of the Bulls. You're like, wait a minute, we didn't expect that. But see, I saw that shit in high school. I saw when he was in high school. I saw the shit. I was blessed to see Derrick Rose take over, because I remember I saw Derrick Rose. I saw him in it was Slam magazine. You said Simeon High School. I have cousins who grew up with him. Okay, yeah, Simeon. That's why I was talking about Simeon. Listen, man, I knew people. I knew a guy. It was a brother. He was like a brother in the church that I went to. He actually went to Simeon, and he was playing during the time. He was playing. He was a little bit older. He was playing during the time when that whole situation that happened with Benjamin Wilson. That was his name, Ben Wilson. That unfortunate thing that happened with him. Uh, and he was playing. He played with Kells and all that. He knew Arthur Ag. He knew William Gates. If y'all don't know who that is, those are the two guys that that were in Hoop Dreams. He knew Isaiah Thomas. He knew Nick Anderson. Um, who else did he know, man? He knew a couple. He knew. I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think what's his name was from there too. Man, it was a couple guys. It was a couple NBA players that actually were from Chicago. Now he did know what's the dude name, man, that played for Milwaukee. Well, Jabari. He knew Jabari Parker, and um, he knew Eddie Curry. He knew Eddie Curry, and he also knew Sean Dockery. and he knew Will Bynum. If y'all don't know, they used to have a show on TV. He knew all these guys. It was called Chicago Preps, and it featured Ed Reed. It featured Sean Dockery, and it featured Will Bynum. Not Ed Reed, Eddie Curry. Eddie Curry. I said Ed Reed. Lord have mercy. Eddie Curry. Yeah. Anthony Davis. Yeah. I remember he had that late growth spurt. But Eddie Curry played for, he played for the New York Knicks, played for Chicago Bulls, all that other stuff. Then, of course, you had, and I like that. I ain't gonna lie, I don't mess with Vlad like that, but I like the interview he had with DJ Vlad, though. It shedded a lot on a lot. Sean Dockery, I used to like Sean Dockery. He played for Duke, but then he never was able to transition into the NBA. And then you had Will Bynum. Will Bynum, man, was man, that dude was, for his size, man, he could get up. Will Bynum had his short little stint in the NBA, played for the Pistons, um, a couple other teams or whatever. I remember him playing for the Pistons or whatever. But it featured those guys. Man, Will Bynum was that guy, man. Will Bynum could get up, bro. He could get up. He truly was, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Chicago could have been, just the bigger mecca than New York, with the talent that was out there. And these guys didn't have to be that big, but the fact that they were just clearing the rim, man, it was just. And these guys would do it with ease. Will Bynum would get up like it was nothing, man. Man, Will Bynum was that guy, man. Just, man, I hated, his career. Um, that was during the time when, I think that was during the time when everybody was, see, DeJuan Wagner coming out of New Jersey. DeJuan Wagner was who everybody was trying to chase, believe it or not, at one point. Everybody was trying to get to DeJuan Wagner. I'm talking about in like Curry's era and all that other stuff. Everybody was trying to get and because DeJuan Wagner, everybody want to talk about like 100 points and all this other stuff. DeJuan Wagner put up 100 or something points in high school. I don't think people understand that. But he put up 100 points in high school. And, man, DeJuan Wagner, man, was that guy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he was explosive, too. DeJuan Wagner, like I said, he was my height. He was around that, that 6'2", 6'3", you know what I'm saying? Man, Wagner was nice. I hate it, man. See, and I talk about some of these disappointments, man. Because, DeJuan Wagner, man, like, man, if you go look at his highlights, man, in high school, like, you were like, man, this guy is really going to be, he's going to be one of the best to ever do it. Hold on one sec, y'all. You said put up 570. Yeah, I know. Hey, look, man. Like, that guy was something special, including a 100-point game, man. Like, that guy was unreal, man. He was unreal. Sensational, bro. Sensational. You wanted to, be like DeJuan Wagner. If you wanted to play the guard position, that's who you were looking at. That's who you were looking at. But yeah, DeJuan Wagner was a guy, man. But yeah, man, I think about some of these guys, man, that that could get up, and DeJuan Wagner could get up too. DeJuan Wagner was backdooring, catching ollie. You know what I'm saying? Coming in. You know what I'm saying with the reverse, could finish softly, could shoot. Yeah, man. Like that boy was, and he could play the one, he could play the two. It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, used to come down with the cornrows. You know what I'm saying? Dude was nice, man. And I don't know what is going on, man. It must have been an accident up here. But man, I want to talk about this. Now, as you know, man, Diddy has been on a rampage. Diddy's gonna talk, man. Whether people like it or not. Shout out to the brother Cypress TV, man. But he basically saying that he don't like the fact that Diddy's being a rat. But I mean, at this point right here, like I don't really like, to be honest with you. Yeah, he's talking and everything. But as I've said before, as guys like like Ticket, guys like the brother Too Raw, guys like, I think Town Biz has said this too. Um, Diddy's not he's not the biggest monster. He's not the biggest monster. You know what I'm saying? Now, what he's doing, is it right? No. But you got to think about it, man. I was, as a matter of fact, I was talking to Cypress, and we were talking about, the NYC mayor, Eric Adams. I mean, that's a prime example right there. We're talking about the mayor. People look at the mayor like, okay, is he an entertainer? No, but they still have power. They still have power, and they have power to do things that the average citizen aren't able to do. We got to think now. His stuff is sealed. His stuff is sealed and everything. But he's being indicted on federal charges, federal corruption charges. I think it's the federal fundraising corruption. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is huge. That right there is huge. Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and take the stand. I mean, at this point, man, Diddy don't want to do no time in jail. Diddy don't want to do no time in no prison. He's not cut. He's not cut for prison. He's the type that comes from the culture of being blessed to do everything and do it twice. Now, I don't, me myself personally, if they cut a deal with Diddy, um, like I hear, yeah. Do I think he should do life or something like that? It just depends. It depends on what this guy's doing. Like, okay, like his lawyer was saying, um, and a couple other people have been saying, baby oil is really not a big deal to me. Like, if you've been to a sex party, if you've been to like and I gotta get real. A lot of people they don't want to get real on here, but I gotta get real. If you've been to that type of party, if you've been in those type of environments, it's common to see baby oil. It's common to see KY. It's common to see toys. It's common to see that sort of thing. It's common to see condoms. Okay, now would you have been even more mad if he would have had 1,000 condoms? I mean, really, what are we talking about here? But 1,000 things of baby oil, that doesn't really. That's not, to be honest with you. That's not what what people are tripping about. As a matter of fact, people are actually making memes and jokes about that. What these people want and what they want, they want a list. They want to, like you got Leonardo DiCaprio. I think he was the number one. He was listed as the number one guy that was always invited to these parties and stuff. With being a freak, as long as you listen, that's a 100% correct, Ted. Listen, man. Listen. How do you think we got here? How do you think we got here? Do you think that your parents, do you think that whoever your mom and whoever your dad is, do you think they just sat in the bedroom and just prayed and then hoped that, she became pregnant and y'all were able to conceive a child? No. And whatever they did to get off, whatever these people do to get off, whatever floats their boat, that's on them. You can't judge that. But the media is going to make a big deal out of it, because they're going to be like, oh, how could you? How could you do that? No, how could you? The same person that's reporting on this probably loves what Diddy is doing. They probably wish they could have been at the freak off. They probably want to live to tell their story that they were a part of a freak off. Yeah. But nah, yeah. Um, but I mean, I'm just saying, man. Like, what Diddy doing now? Now, when it comes to like the trafficking and stuff like that, we gotta pinpoint what that truly is. And if you're bringing in someone in, you're flying them in and all that other stuff or whatever. Okay, a lot of people are putting that in the category of trafficking. When I think of it, what I'm saying now, that I won't go into detail, but let's just say it's much more than, okay, if you come into town and you fly a IG hoe there. That's not the same thing. What we're talking about is, okay, if you're doing like some transporter type shit, okay, if you've seen the man, if you've seen the movie Transporter, you know what I'm talking about. If you're doing that type of shit, okay, that's what I mean. If that is the case, and y'all are excoriating a guy like Diddy, now I don't agree with him doing all the the other unnecessary stuff. The whole video with Cassie, and there's been stuff I've seen worse videos than what took place with Diddy and Cassie. Hell, Ike Turner and Tina was worse. Hell, Ray Rice was worse. I've seen much worse. They said Dr. Dre was beating the shit out of Michelle A. They said that was worse. So we gotta, let's just stop just singling out like he was the worst one. And on top of that, she chose to stay. She chose to stay. That was her decision. We know Robert Kraft did. We know Robert Kraft did, man. Robert Kraft. Listen, Robert Kraft actually, from what I've heard, and this is gonna surprise you. Robert Kraft. Listen, Robert Kraft is the complete opposite of what Bill Belichick is. That's what I've been told. Robert Kraft loves to party. Robert Kraft, you see what's going on right now in with the Patriots. You see the Wakanda culture that's going on. Robert Kraft is, he's a laid back guy. You know what I'm saying? He's kind of like how Pete Carroll was. He lets you do what you want to be. Bill Belichick didn't like that. Bill Belichick was like no nonsense, very serious, very military, like Greg Popovich, like, and all that other stuff. Robert Kraft was the complete opposite. Right, exactly. I wouldn't be surprised, man. Robert Kraft, he's a, and listen, I didn't get mad at Robert Kraft about, him going to go to massage parlors and stuff like that. What? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what my problem is, okay, if you're going to sit up there and you're going to talk about Deshaun Watson and make all this stuff, up about him and stuff like that, and make him out to be a criminal. No, we got to talk about, the other guys that are doing it too. Listen, man, these guys get paid 6 figures or more. They can pretty much do just about anything that is desirable that they want to choose. I gave him a heart attack. Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion, man, she and that's another thing too. Everybody likes to, be like, oh yeah, well, Cardi B, she a hoe, or Megan Thee Stallion, she's a hoe, or she's a thot, or Sukihana, she's a thot, da 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 da, or what's her name, Sexy Red, she's a thot, and all this other stuff. But the same women that you, and I call them women. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna, even though that they do what a lot of people feel like they would not do, a lot of women feel like they would not do, they're still women at the end of the day. That's somebody's daughter, that's somebody, that's somebody's mama, that's somebody's auntie, that's somebody's cousin, this, that, and the third. Those are the same women that a lot of guys would be trying to get with and actually be trying to get off to. Let's just call it what it is. You said I would smash Lizzo. Lizzo is a beautiful woman, man. Like, fuck what y'all say. All this stuff about, oh yeah, well she's big and all this other stuff. Hey, look at yourself in the mirror. I mean, do you got a 12 pack? Do you, do you got a V taper? You know what I'm saying? Are you cut around and all that other stuff? You probably not. And it be the same motherfuckers, man, that's sitting up there, you know what I'm saying, probably should wear a bra. I'm talking about a man that should wear a bra, probably got a bigger stomach than Lizzo, what she had, because Lizzo's on her weight loss journey. And Lizzo would probably be like, look at you and say, no, Lizzo is a beautiful woman, man. It's just that she gets a bad rap for her. Now, I didn't like the fact that she was twerking, but hey, that's what she did. Do that in private or something like that. But 9 times out of 10, a lot of guys would get with Lizzo. All this stuff that they say, oh yeah, she's big and all this other, man. Lizzo's a beautiful woman, man. Like, shit, there's nothing ugly about her. Hell, she could play the flute all day. That's what Ted say. You said Maya and Alicia Keys. You know what, man? I've never really been into like like Alicia Keys and Maya. Alicia Keys, she, I don't know. I never. I actually had I relatives that kind of have they favor that kind of look. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole yellow bone and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The light skin stuff. Like Ted, I'm telling you, man. If you seen my cousins or something like that, man, you'll be like, wow. You'll probably be like, oh yeah, well, man, your cousin. I don't mean to be rude. Your cousin are gorgeous or something like that. I'm like, what? This ugly ass girl? That's, and she'll probably hit me or something like that. But it's because I grew up with them and stuff like that. And like, so when I look at Beyonce, when I look at like Keisha Cole and all these, these yellow bones and stuff like that, man, I don't really look at them the same like other people do. You know what I'm saying? A matter of fact, I used to hang out. With like these two girls that were hella light skinned and stuff. They always wanted. I hung out with a girl who was hella light skinned and stuff, and I was not attracted to her at all. But we were just like really cool, and other guys would holler at her and stuff like that. I'd be like, "That's cool, sure." You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, "For real?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they would tell me everything, man. They would be like, "Oh my God, his breath stinks. I don't know why he always comes up to me," or they'd be like, "Man, his head is so nappy. I don't know why he always has a nerve to come." I mean, just talking about them bad, but then they'll smile in their face and stuff like that, or she'll tell me, what they did and all this other stuff, man. And I'll be like, man, yeah, like, I mean, and I never saw that. Like I never saw, man. I got light skinned people, real light, like Kamala Harris color and stuff. That's how like a couple of my aunties look. So I never really got into the light skin, dark skin stuff, man. My godfather, he's not related to me, but he light skinned, and then my pops, his whole side of the family, including him, he light skinned. My grandmother, she's like more red bone. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, like I never really been like, oh yeah, light skin, dark skin, man, because I know some light skinned dudes, man, shoot, that will square up with you in a heartbeat, man. So all that stuff about like light skinned guys being soft and all that other stuff, nah, man, not where I'm from. Nah, you'll get tested. You'll get tested quick. Shoot, I'd have been in a room full of like where it would be like a couple of dark skinned niggas, man, a rest of them light skinned. I never tripped on that shit. All this, light skinned people grimy and light skinned people this. I ain't never had a light skinned dude do me wrong, man. I ain't never had that. I played basketball with them, you know what I'm saying? I had to grow up with them. Light skinned cousins, all that stuff, man. So I never really, yeah, they still black, like my homies. Yeah, matter of fact, he's a perfect example. It's funny that you said that, man. I was like, man, I might be related to Pat Mahomes. I might be related to that nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? But nah, I know I had a partner, man, that kind of looked like Pat Mahomes, man. Yeah, man, but nah, man, I ain't never got into that, man. You know what I'm saying? I know uh, light skinned dudes that go the other way. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, I know light skinned dudes that are locked up because of some stupid shit that they done did. I know light skinned dudes that that are blessed genetically. You know what I'm saying? Like being, there was another dude, man, I was real cool with. This dude was like 6'7", tall and skinny, man. He used to talk shit about me, about how short I was. But what am I gonna say? Oh man, that dude light skinned, man. He grimy. Nah, man, we just talk shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are sensitive nowadays, man. I would get on his ass, man. I would talk about him like crazy. He was way bigger than me, and we just laugh that shit off. You said some light skinned folk. Now listen, man. Um, I did have a friend of mine, man. His name was Jay, man. He if you're able to infiltrate Ted and you're able to use your smarts to get in and infiltrate and use that to your advantage, I'm not mad at you. Here's what I have a problem with is if, okay, like let's say he works at a corporation, right, and it's 90% the other color. You know what I'm saying? There's hardly any African Americans there, any black folks there, and he goes out to dinner and he sees you and he looks the other way. That's what I have a problem with. But the guys that I was chilling around, the women that I knew, no, they'll be like, hey, I want to introduce you. Like I knew a girl. She was working for this corporation. I'm not going to name the corporation or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not going to name it. But she was working for this corporation, and I needed to meet her there to give her something. She's a real good friend of mine or whatever. And she's like, just come to my job and everything. You know what I'm saying? She was one of the leads there. You know what I'm saying? She was moving up at a young age and stuff. And it's cool. You can come up here. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And she was letting me come in there. You know what I'm saying? In the office, introducing me to everybody. You know, a lot of them were white, stuff like that. But what I'm saying is she could have came off really stuck up and been like, no, just don't even come in, and just wait outside or something like that, like acting like she was better than me or something like that. And she didn't do that. So and she was light skinned. She was able to play, infiltrate, and she actually put people on. She put a dude on. Okay, this dude. Okay, he started off as a janitor. You know what I'm saying? He was straight out the hood. You know what I'm saying? He was like first because he didn't have his high school diploma. And she was working with him. She said, you got to get your GED. You got to do this and do that if you want to work here and stuff like that. Because he really wanted to work here. But he also liked her too. You know what I'm saying? And, and she wouldn't give him the time of day or whatever. But watch how this story going to play out. So he started off as a janitor because he ended up, getting his stuff together or whatever. Started off as a janitor. He eventually was able to get his certification to become a security guard and stuff because they had security downstairs and everything. Then he became a security guard. He was like he took it to a whole nother level or whatever. In the meantime, she starts checking him out. She really starts checking this dude out or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was okay with the dude, but I wasn't as close to him as I was to her or whatever. And she was like, well, what's up with him? And da da da. I'm like, what you mean what's up with him? And she was like, well, he been doing his thing and stuff like that. I was like, uh-oh. So meantime, and I'm talking about at first she wasn't giving this dude the time of day. Then he started moving up. He became a security guard. Bam. Guess what? He started taking like these little classes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? at the community college and stuff. Then he eventually, because he kept applying for positions within the building. Next thing you know, guess what? He's working there. Then all of a sudden, guess what? I end up like I called her. I said, "What's up? We gonna chill today or whatever." We had like a little group. We were gonna go bowling and all this other stuff. She was like, "No, I'm stepping out with him," and da 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 da. I'm like, "What?" But see, that's how. It works or whatever. And it all started from just her, just helping him out. She wouldn't give him the time of day. Like she wasn't rude to him or nothing like that. But she just like, nah, he's not my type. Da 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 da. She said it like in a nice way or whatever. But that's what I'm saying. You never know how. When you start off at the bottom, and then you eventually start to move up, and you'll be surprised at how progression can make you look in terms of your attractiveness. And a lot of people don't understand that. He started from the bottom where nobody gave him a chance and looked at him or whatever. But anyways, man, I know that was a long drawn out story or whatever, but I say that, man, to say that, I don't see a difference in light skin and dark skin people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna move on to the Dolph trial, day number 4, because they're probably finna get under the way in just a little bit. Booker T Washington was light skinned, and W.E.B. Du Bois, they were both light skinned. I just thought I'd throw that out there. W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington were light skinned. A lot of people don't know that. Everybody think that Booker T. Washington was dark skinned and all this other stuff. Nah, he's light skinned dude. But guess what? He was still a black man. Now, we got Dolph trial day 4. They were deliberating yesterday. We're wondering now, is it going to be second degree? Is it going to be first degree? Of course, I don't see him getting like 25 years or none of that other stuff. I think he's going to get life without the possibility of parole. But everybody's wondering. Everybody is pushing, I think, for second degree. No, he should not get manslaughter at all. And the reason is because, like, what we're looking at and what the video confirms is the fact that Straight Drop and these guys, they were planning to do this the whole time. So this was premeditated. They had this in their mind to do this because because of the clothes and everything. So, and like I said, I don't feel any sympathy for him. The fact that you had your daughter, the fact that you were able to get something to eat, the fact that you were able to do, because Dolph was doing the same thing. He was about to get him some cookies, just enjoying life somewhere where he always went. He probably went there since he was young. At Makita's Cookies. Now he'll never be able to do that again. Meanwhile, you were able to take your daughter. You were able to do this for your daughter. You were able to do that for your daughter, or whatever. He doesn't have a chance to do that again. And this is another thing too. Really, honestly, a lot of people feel like he should get the death penalty. I'm one of them. I do believe in the eye for an eye and the way that it was done too. Yes, he jumped out the car, and I'm talking about straight drop. You jumped out the car as the first guy. I mean, as the second guy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But and you came in. You came in right after Cornelius did. But the thing about it is you still shot that gun. You know that those bullets add up when we talk about 20 shots, 20 plus shots. So I don't feel any sympathy. You knew what you were doing. You had a chance to take another route, but because of your anger, let's just call it what it is. You were angry, and the reason why you were angry is because you felt like you should have been able to get a deal with Dolph, but Dolph has said he didn't want to fool with you because of the RAPE charge that you had on you. Because of that charge that you had on you already. You know what I'm saying? You were seen as a pedo. So you got one pedo and you got one pillhead. Yes, and yes, that's what he is. Okay. That took out a guy that was actually trying to do something productive. Now, do some people see what Dolph was doing as destructive? Somewhat, yeah, because they feel like, okay, yeah, he's rapping about this, he's rapping about that, but at the end of the day, it's your choice to listen to it. I didn't hear about Dolph trading gunfire with people within the city. I didn't hear about Dolph robbing people. I didn't hear about Dolph doing snakish stuff to people. I didn't hear that. So him rapping about, they're just words or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you were mad because, you didn't get the deal, and you said whatever you had to do to get the deal, that's what you were going to do. And you chose to take out a man and really didn't get. Now, a lot of people are feeling like a drop may have got a bulk of the money in comparison to Cornelius or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. We'll never know. But that's what led to Cornelius telling it all and singing Patti LaBelle on the stand. Okay? So I believe he's gonna get, I don't feel any sympathy for him. Like I said, man, he could sit there and look like he's been crying and depressed and all that other stuff. Really, that has no bearing on how I feel about the situation. You were in the wrong. You were wrong for what you did. You had a decision that you had to make, and on top of that, you were above the age of 18. You were in I think you were what, 19 at the time, because it's been 4 years. So you were, and he's 23 right now. You were 19 at the time. You're still an adult. You still know better. So no, I don't feel any. Like I said, I don't feel any sympathy. I know my sister Tamara. She has a different theory about that. But at the end of the day, like I said, the end game is still there. You took out a man that did not even know what he was doing. If you wanted to do something that bad, if you wanted to be famous that bad, really all you needed to do was to go viral on YouTube doing something silly. Let that sink in. But besides that, man, let me go ahead. I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. I thank y'all for pulling up with me. Make sure y'all go sub to the brother, Too Raw for TV. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you are properly notified. It's straight to the point, sports and entertainment. And I'll be speaking with you later.